society, but it's good to dig up ancient people. You want to dig up your grandpa, my grandpa, and look at them. I go dig up their grandpa and they hold me in jail. I don't want to look at them anyway. I don't know why it's that way, you know. With ancestors, call upon of ancestors, not only from these lands, but those in the German way too. And all around there, Hawaii, all that country, to help us out, get these, that spirit can make some changes. But like I say, sometimes we can't do this stuff alone. We've got to call on the others to help us. But anyway, like I say, we're here just to help support, help follow the lead on however this may go and stuff. But just want to thank everybody for being out here today, taking that time out of your life, standing up for what is right. Say that much. Oh.
Good afternoon, my relatives. My name is Gary McKinney from the Duck Valley Indian Reservation. I'm a Shoshone Paiute, and beside me I have my grandmother's Josephine, and we call her Paido, Elvita Kutcher, and Inelda. These are my grandmothers, and my uncle right here, Myron, my comrade CJ, my auntie Doris, my little cousin TK. If I missed anybody, my little cousin right here, Ronnie's been in on the hill quite often. I want to say Pishayu, Ronnie, for sticking it out up there throughout those days. But right now, I want to thank the American Indian movement for showing up and lending us their hand. Because in this little building right behind us, we have a lot of plans to like how Rocky was saying, they want to disrupt the way that things are back there. And myself, I'm from a reservation, but right now these times I go to these reservations and I talk to the council members, and I try to gain as much support in that way as I can. And so when we go to these events, a lot of the times, it would be appreciated if you would go home, to your places where you live and spread the word, that hey, we still care, we're still here for our land. We're few, but we are strong. And right here in these times, it's getting closer and closer to our New Year's date, for us traditional guys, and a lot of prayers are going up to help protect the Thacker Pass, Peehee Mu'huh. And right now, there's nobody in that building, but we kind of think there is. So we want to be here in numbers and say what we need to say right here. Stand together in solidarity with the people of Red Mountain, because they come a long ways. Opposing this mine is nothing small. It's not an easy task, but these our elders from the Red Mountain, they're up to it. So us as our generation, I'm 32, us guys that are our age, it's time for us to come out and say stuff. It's time for us to come and share our peace of mind. Because I was on the way over here. I don't never really know what I'm going to say when I'm speaking, but when I speak from the heart, I want to get in, I want you to identify me as much as you can. That way, when I see you the next time around, I can not really point you out, but I know you guys better, because we're out here doing these events. I traveled seven hours to get here, but short and sweet. That's we like to do these things. We have this vision with these our youth. Any turnaround that we have, it's for the youth, and we carry that on, with these minds and stuff, so that the people working on the reservations can keep working. They can keep doing what they do, but somebody has to speak for the land. That's what we're here to do. From where I'm at, I'm told that there's several projects that's in the makings, and we it's sad, because a lot of these tribes that we're talking to, they have ties to the land back there, but they don't have anybody to speak up and step forth and make things notable. So I want, you know, everybody here that's taking pictures and recording stuff, you know, I want you to take what I'm saying back to, you know, your nephews or your cousins and say, hey, you know what, these guys need some help. I want, you know, you guys take that with you. You know, I'm not a very mean guy. You know, you know, I'll give you my information. You know, keep in touch, and we'll keep these things going. But you know, we need a lot of support from the, you know, from the outside groups because our reservations are small. And so, you know, it would really go a long ways, you know, if you would do what I asked, you know, share the good information to the people, you know, the media groups, you know, you know, ask that you take our words as indigenous, you know, we're the natives, the tribal members, and our word needs to be heard, especially by the, you know, the far western groups, things like this, they want to come out and dig up our land, and it's a big cliche, yeah, I know, but it's got to be said, you know, if all of us knew how to speak Paiute right now, you know, one of these elders right here would tell you in a more defined, more specific way than English words can ever tell you. And that's the way it is. That's just, you know, that's part of the things that we're protecting. We want our younger generations to learn those things, learn which seasons are good to go and hunt, which, you know, food source. And that food source is going to go lower and lower if the water's not good for them to drink, because you know what's good enough for the fish, you know, what's good enough for us, you know, that comes from an elder over in Pyramid Lake. And that rings true. You know, there's a lot of stuff out there. You know, our hunting ways, the gathering ways, all going to be pushed in a big pile and sifted through by people who don't know any better. That's what we're going to try to stop right here. You know, this. I don't know what the cop was over here about. You know, but you know, I'd like to say, you know, thank you guys for standing like that. You know, because that cop doesn't know. You know, one that solidarity that, you know, we just seen. You know, take it on a larger scale. We really need you guys' help. You know, I don't know what else to say. You know, but you know, right now there's you know, I just would like, you know, to take a moment of silence for my brother Keith Andrew back at home. You know, right today is his. You're gonna put him in the ground today. You know, I didn't choose to come here. You know, I'd rather be back there with my brother, helping the family. You know, doing the cedar, doing stuff like that, because the family needs me that way. But also too, you know, I'm committed to this, to opposing this mine here. You know, I put all my effort in. I'll drive wherever I got to. I'll say what I got to say. I'll write what I got to write down. You know, I'll go to these meetings. You know, and I want, you know, everybody to know that, hey, if there's an event coming up and you're willing to go, get a hold of me and let's go. We'll caravan over there. You know, that's what it takes. We'll multiply. All of us will multiply. That's one thing that, you know, we're asking in. You know, I myself, I've worked as a land surveyor before the Barrett Cortez mine got to where it is now. And the things that we were seeing, you know, they throw us money, $300 a day. Sounds nice and everything, but yeah, at the expense of our ancestors and the tools that they used. There were grave sites over there that weren't even native, you know. These were old cowhands that had their boots on and rifles in their coffins and stuff, but yeah, these groups like this will come right in and piece it apart, dig 4 feet in, 4 feet across, and call it good, you know. Anything under that is, you know, it's just going to get bulldozed into a big pile. You know, here I thought I was doing my tribe good by, you know, picking something up. I'm just throwing it aside. All right, it's cool. I saved it, but I really didn't. All I did was I put it right there where it got put into a big pile and erased totally from history. You know, now there's a big mine back there. Now I know better. Today, you know, I stand here. You know, I corrected myself there. You know, I choose to fight this for this good cause than anything else. You know, I don't want to put a label on anything else, but I choose. This is me. I choose to fight for my elders and for the kids and for our ceremonies. That's what I'm fighting for. You know, if anybody would like to join me, you know, that's. I ask, you know, you come in a good way. We come in a good way. We never come to these events with violence in our hearts. You know, we come to share that good message, to stay connected, You know, and even though this is out in the city, you know, it's the same deal out there in Thacker Pass, and the same people are here. You know, that you see right here behind me, they're out there. You know, these ladies, they do a lot for the community there. You know, I'll call it the Thacker Pass community, because up on the hill, you know, they never go hungry. And right now, you know, we're really in the process of getting campers out there. You know, I have tents and stuff. You know, we really need that kind of support, especially, you know, if they want to come in, you know, one way, and then we're standing, you know, 100 miles away. You know, things like that we got to start taken care of. But the main thing, you know, I'll say over and over again, is we have to look out for the future. We have to look out for the artifacts, you know, everything. The roots, we have to protect those. The wildlife, we have to take care of them, speak for them, because they can't speak for the ones who aren't here, aren't able to make it here, you know. And the ones in front of us are future generations, 7 generations ahead. Let's think about them. Let's preserve this land as best as we can, and teach them the things that, you know, we were taught. That way they know how to use the land back there. We keep it going, we keep it going. That's what our deal is here. You know, we have the, I shouldn't say we have, because that's like a term of possession, but throughout the years, life skills, you know, life skills, we have these attributes. You know, mine is I go around, I'm okay to talk to any tribe out there, you know, because I know I'm coming in a good way. You know, and I want that for our people. I want our people to share that good kindness in our hearts, you know, when we all get together and we all recognize each other and we all see each other, you know, we can shake hands and say, oh, brother, oh, good to see you again, you know. That right there is that good feeling that must be harvested, you know, and first things first, we got to put our imprint on this building here, let them know, you know, we're out here in a good way of praying. You know, this is a prayer. You know, so, you know, I don't want to keep repeating myself up here, you know, but, you know, I see a lot of folks here, and a lot of kids, you know, they hear us, they see us, even though we don't know, you know, they're watching us. They want to be like us, you know, so let's carry ourselves in a good way. You know, let's respect what our elders are asking of us. You know, when we do all these prayer runs and things, you know, things that have to do with prayer. You know, let's respect what's asked by the elders. Take care of it like that. You know, let's practice what we preach. You know, I've said a lot right now, and for right now, I want to leave it at that. You know, if I'll be around, you know, get a hold of the Red Mountain people. You know, I'm just right around the corner. If anybody wants to talk, anybody wants to, you know, make some plans or anything at all, please get a hold of me, contact me, reach out to me. That's all I ask. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Gary. It's always a pleasure to listen to you talk. My name is Will Falk. I am an attorney and an organizer with Protect Thacker Pass. Along with my friend Max Wilbur, we've been living up in Peehee Mu'huh since January 15th, trying to raise awareness about what's going on and ultimately to stop Lithium Nevada's Thacker Pass lithium mine. First, I just want to say thanks to the people of Red Mountain. Many of them are here. It's a committee of traditional members of the Fort McDermott, Paiute, and Shoshone tribe who have really helped us up at Thacker Pass, who have been feeding us and have you know, let us take showers in their house when we haven't showered in 2 weeks, let us do laundry, all kinds of things. And they really have taught us a lot about Peehee Mu'huh. And I want to share a little of what they've taught us in a second. But first, I just want to explain how urgent things are right now. As things stand, Far Western and Lithium Nevada and the Bureau of Land Management can start digging cultural sites and artifacts and possibly even burial sites in Thacker Pass as soon as July 29th. There is a court hearing set for July 21st at 9 a.m. in Reno at the federal courthouse where a judge is going to listen to whether he should issue an order to not allow that digging to happen yet. But it's really hard to win those hearings, and we need to plan like that digging is a reality and that it's almost upon us. At Thacker Pass, we plan on doing everything we can to stop that construction, including trying to blockade the construction equipment when it comes. And that is something that will require bodies and people brave enough to stand in front of the police and stand in front of the construction equipment when it comes. I guess one thing that I always like to talk about these things because I like to talk about these things in terms of the full historical context of what's going on. I think it's often lost in these discussions, you know, just all the history that leads us up to this point. And as all of us know, you know, in the 1860s and 1870s, the federal government came here into Nevada and they said, we want your minerals and we want your land for grazing, and we're going to give your people diseases, and we're going to massacre Native people, and then we're going to say that the land is ours. And now in 2021, when Native people want to protect their cultural sites, they say, well, it's not actually your land anymore. We rounded you all up and put you on reservations, and the federal law gives us the right to dig these cultural sites up, and that's what we're going to do. And then, as we just saw, when we want to ask them nicely not to do that, when we want to explain what's up there, they send a white man with a gun to come ask us what we're doing, the police. And that just makes me really angry. I think that I wish that someone from Far Western was here because I think that it's wrong that someone can make hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars on contracts to destroy Native people's cultures, to take out their artifacts, to disturb their ancestors, and they're rewarded for that. And you know, we've been putting on this pressure campaign trying to tell them not to do this. And one of the things that people like Far Western often say is, well, we're just doing our job. And, you know, if your job is to destroy another people's culture, if your job is to rip up another person's gravesite, you need to find another job. Yeah. And so if they were here, that's what I would say. But of course, they don't even have the respect to pull hundreds of thousands of dollars from destroying artifacts and destroying burial sites. They don't even have the decency to come talk with the people that are angry about that. So one of the things that I've learned about Peehee Mu'huh is why it is in fact called Peehee Mu'huh. And as these grandmas right here have explained to me, Peehee Mu'huh means rotten moon. And it got its name because several hundred years ago, some Paiute hunters were off hunting buffalo, as I believe the story goes, in Paradise Valley. They came back to find their loved ones massacred with their intestines spread out across the sagebrush in what in English is Thacker Pass. So, you know, they call it rotten moon because there was all these rotten guts spread around. That's a really traumatic memory. That's a really sad place to be. And, you know, Americans have places like this too, right? Americans have places like this too. We have places like Pearl Harbor or Arlington National Cemetery where white Americans were killed or massacred. And no one would ever think about going into Arlington National Cemetery or going to Pearl Harbor and start digging up bodies there or start digging up cultural resources there. And so why don't traditional people here, why don't Paiute people get the same kind of respect in their massacre sites? So I always want to talk about this lithium mine as a racist project, because that's what it really is. You know, they've tried to build this project as somehow green because they're going to be making electric car batteries from the lithium. They don't tell you that they're going to be burning 10,300 gallons of diesel on site every day. They don't tell you that they're going to be burning 150,000 tons of carbon dioxide equivalent emissions every single year. They don't tell you that they're going to use 5,200 square acre feet of water in one of the driest regions on Earth every single year. There's nothing green about it. And then when you add on the racism, when you add on the amount of culture that has to be destroyed, the pushing this project over the top of Native people once again, we see that just like gold and silver mining 130 years ago, 150 years ago, lithium is this new mineral that the federal government wants, and they're trying to put it on Native people once again. They're going to destroy Native people's lands once again to get those minerals, and that's not right. And I'm going to fight like hell to make sure they can't do it. Thanks, everyone.
Are these safe minerals? Are these minerals safe?
No, these minerals aren't safe. They have to use, in order to get the lithium out of the ground, it's a new process that they've never tried before. So that's another thing about this mine, is it's a huge experiment. It's all in this clay ore, so they're going to be trucking in molten sulfur, and they're going to use sulfuric acid to burn the lithium out of the earth. And it takes them, they can only get 1 ton of lithium from 5,800 tons of the earth. That's a terribly inefficient process, and it pollutes all the water that they have to use. The water is going to have elevated levels of antimony and arsenic for over 300 years after the mine closes down. So there's nothing safe about the mine. I mean, it's going to create horrible air pollution and dust. After having lived in Peehee Mu'huh for the last 6 months, I've seen how the wind almost always blows really strong from the west, and it blows right at the Fort McDermott Reservation. So, this is a reservation that's already suffered from the Cordero and McDermott mines, where, even Josephine's husband died from cancer from one of those mines. Mines have already affected this community, and it's time to give this community a break from these kind of projects. And to top it all off, there's already 8,000 other lithium claims being made in the state of Nevada, especially in the McDermott caldera, where the Fort McDermott Reservation is, and where Peehee Mu'huh is. There's already another Australian mine a few miles to the north that wants to get going to rip lithium out of the area. And so I feel like we have to stop this very first mine, because if we don't stop this one and it gets up and it gets profitable, it's just going to open the floodgates. And the area all around Fort McDermott, all around the McDermott caldera, is going to be sacrificed for electric cars. And again, I think that's wrong. For greed, for money. So, yeah, July 29th, the digging could start. We plan on doing absolutely everything we can to stop it. And we invite anybody who wants to come up and help to do so, and to circle July 29th on your calendar. Thank you all very much. Kayla's going to read the letter that was written about what's going on, that we wanted to deliver to somebody from Far Western, but of course they didn't show up.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Tequila Antonio. My Indian name is Morning Songbird Woman. I'm from the Fort McDermott Paiute Shoshone tribe. I was asked to read this letter to Dr. Young. That's for Dr. Young today. So, the people of Red Mountain are a committee of traditional knowledge keepers and members of the Fort McDermott Paiute and Shoshone tribe. We are working to oppose the proposed Thacker Pass lithium mine by Lithium Nevada on our ancestral homelands, and to protect Peehee Mu'huh, Thacker Pass, as a sacred place. A band of our ancestors were massacred in Thacker Pass. Our people know Thacker Pass as Peehee Mu'huh, which translates to rotten moon. Peehee Mu'huh meaning rotten and Mu'huh meaning moon. Peehee Mu'huh received its name when our ancestors were massacred. After our hunters were away, when the hunters returned, they found the elders, women, and children murdered, unburied, and rotting with their intestines spread across the sagebrush. In this patch shaped like a crescent moon, our people used Pihimu'huh as a traveling route, camp area to gather, hunt foods, and hiding places when they were being forced onto reservations. The BLM says in their final environmental impact statement that there are no human remains at Thacker Pass. They are wrong. Peehee Mu'huh is a powerful place grounded by the presence of our ancestors and our animal people, like golden eagles, who we hold high cultural importance to. Peehee Mu'huh is essential to the survival of our traditions because our traditions are directly tied to the land. Each season is a time to hunt animals and gather plants, foods, and medicines. Peehee Mu'huh holds many first foods, medicines, and hunting grounds for our people in the past and present. As an example, we hunt mule deer, which are significant to us in that we use every part of the deer for things like meat, clothing, regalia, and drums in our everyday life and ceremonies. At the current time, Far Western Anthropological Research Inc., a for-profit corporation, plans to excavate cultural sites and ancestors from Peehee Mu'huh through mechanical trenching as soon as July 29th. This proposed destruction is tied to a cultural study for which tribal consultation occurred prior to the current mine plan, and we view this as inadequate. We also understand that consultation does not equate to consent. The National Historic Preservation Act, Section 106, requires the identification and assessment of historic properties which may be affected by activities such as the proposed Thacker Pass mine. However, we understand that there is significant flexibility provided in the determination of specific methodologies employed to satisfy these requirements. The people of Red Mountain and others in solidarity are engaged in a number of tactics to protect our ancestral homelands at Peehee Mu'huh and the integrity of our ancestors' bodies and spirits. These tactics include, but are not limited to, outreach to Deborah Holland, the Secretary of the Interior, and attempts to reinitiate formal consultation with all tribal governments with ancestral and/or ceremonial ties to Peehee Mu'huh. Due to the gravity of this matter, we are not relying on any specific tactic alone. The tribal members of Red Mountain are fiercely concerned with the proposed desecration of cultural sites and ancestors' bodies. Our oral histories are clear regarding the fact that Peehee Mu'huh is a massacre site. Western science, government policy, and corporations deny our self-determination and self-representation through this failure to honor traditional knowledge, proposing to verify our truth through an act of desecration instead. Now we address Far Western and its employees directly. You are planning to commit actions that are unethical and wrong. These actions may even constitute violations of the National Historic Preservation Act and Native American Graves Protection and Repatriation Act. Currently, people across Canada and the United States are grappling with the history of genocide exposed by the thousands of children killed in boarding schools. You have a choice to make now, whether you stand with us or whether you will pursue money over doing what is right and loot our ancestors' cultural and sacred sites and their resting places. Which side do you choose? Members of Red Mountain can commit to being available to meet with Far Western to discuss these issues. We hope you take seriously the need to engage with this criticism to real historic traumas and revision the relationship between archaeology and indigenous peoples to be based on morality and ethics rather than extraction of ancestors, minerals, and knowledge. Sincerely, the people of Red Mountain.
My name is Dean Barlis. I'm from Pyramid Lake, and I sit on the cultural committee out there for Pyramid Lake. And I know we deal with Far Western. We dealt with them during the Ruby pipeline that came through, and their theory is they really believe this too. Paiute's only been here 500 to 1,000 years. But sitting on a culture committee at Pyramid Lake, we reburied ancestors that are over 9,000, 10,000 years old. We brought them home 2 years ago and put them away in our cemetery, put them back in the earth. Now, Fallon tribe, we took care of ancestors. They did the DNA, and they were like 12,000 years old. So how can we be here only 1,000 years? I've listened to all the different things that Far Western has said. They don't know, I can't use that word, but they don't know anything. Their theory, they really believe their theory. And I know when the DNA studies were done on the ancestor of Fallon, I know BLM for a fact. Director for Nevada BLM tried to call Fallon tribe and said, can you change this? He was calling the scientists that did the DNA studies in Denmark. Can you change it to where Paiutes haven't been here for 12,000 years? And, I know that as a fact. I know how deceiving Far Western can be. We've had to stop them from taking remains out of places that they discovered on the pipeline coming out of Honey Lake, Fish Springs Valley, they call it. And it was a woman. She was buried there. We told her, just leave her there and rebury her. And we came back and made sure they reburied that woman again. So I know, like I said, for a fact, BLM is no good, or Western is no good. They just do it for the money. Now I know this lithium mine is gonna destroy everything that we cherish. And you wonder why the weather is so hot, why there's so many forest fires, why are we in a continual drought? But they're the ones bringing this devastation into this land. And they don't see what our old people saw. The old people said one day all of this is going to come back on them. Sure enough, it's coming back on them. Everybody's suffering though. All of us are suffering. And is suffering. Our Mother Earth is suffering. The animals are suffering. But they brought it on themselves with their ignorance. And that's how I see it. They're ignorant people. They haven't learned, or they have gotten so far away from being one with our Mother Earth and the natural world around us. So, my great-great-grandpa took care of this place, fought for it, the lands up north of us, all through the area. And we have stories about him riding around the soldiers, letting them shoot at him. And he would ride his horse around, and they would shoot. And when he was done, he would come back and wring his shirt out, or all the metal or the lead would fall off. But those people fought for this land. They gave blood for this land. They fought a war of genocide. The government did. Their policy was to wipe the Paiute people out. From 1864 to 1868, they call it Snake War. Our people fought hard for the land, and we're still going to fight hard for that land today. So I'm glad, a lot of you showed up today. And, it's not just McDermott tribe, it's all the Paiute people. Nowadays, it's all the Native people, indigenous people, everywhere. So everything they've done to us, it's coming back on them. It'll come back on them big time. We already see that happening with the world changing, the weather changing, but they don't seem to get that. Anyway, I just want to be thankful to be here today, and I don't know. That's about it. Just want to be with, we're going to stand with our relatives no matter what they go through. I guess when it really comes down to it, I guess I'm ready to give my life like my great-great-grandpa did for this land. And that's all I got to say.
Hi, welcome everybody. My name is Jolene Snap. I am from Fort McDermott, Nevada. I am fifth generation from the Thacker family in Duck Valley on my mom's side. I have a connection with the land. My dad was a hunter. He was a fisherman. We used to go camp in those mountains. He knew the land like the back of his hand. I grew up in Fort McDermott, and I consider that my home. I would like to acknowledge the original caretakers of the land, our forefathers, the ones that died up there, the ones that fought to live. If we get this lithium mine built, it's going to change the way of life that we know. There'll be no more ranches, horses, deer, air, and not only that, but we're struggling right now for our culture to keep that intact, our language. And I and a couple of other people from our reservations, Junior McKinney right here, CJ Thomas. We've been doing prayer runs throughout the different regions of our homeland. And we do that to show that we are still here. We do that to stand in solidarity, to protect our land. We're making new tracks. We're walking the trails that our forefathers walked, to show them that we still utilize these lands today. And we're going to be having an upcoming prayer run again, starting in Winnemucca on July 24th. It's going to be a series of 65 miles. We ask that you guys stand in solidarity with us. Drink water, say prayers. We have strong runners. I emphasize the youth because the youth are our future. And I would just like to welcome you guys here. Call us out for warriors. We need warriors. We need water protectors. We need caretakers of the land. Direct action. Right now, today, or this evening in Portland, Oregon, they're going to be having a rally at 6 p.m. They have a teepee set up at the Tesla company. The word is out. We need help. We need you guys out at Thacker Pass, Rotten Moon. And I would just like to thank you guys. Thank you for coming. The rest of the people, thank you guys for coming. I see Mona here. I see Doris. I see Justine, Elvira, Anelda, TK. You guys, thank you. These are my people. I don't live in Fort McDermott, but I live in Burns, Oregon. And we just need help. We need to protect our land. One of the things, I've been traveling. I've been going to Boise, Portland, and I've been showing the protests. I've been showing my signs. And one of the things that I've been hearing in Oregon and Idaho is that mining is only in Nevada. Yeah, it's an imaginary line in the state of Nevada, but in the state of Oregon, you will be affected. In the state of Idaho, you will be impacted. It will hit your water, it will hit your air, it will hit your land, and it will change your way of life. what we know right now is not going to be no more if the build of the mine is getting a green light. And not only that, but we have a sister tribe in Duck Valley. They're exploring those lands over there on the fault line. They could talk about that. I'm not really, I don't have that much knowledge on that. But it's a fault line. They have these 4 proposed lithium mines right there around McDermott area, but they're also moving to Duck Valley. And Jarbidge isn't very far from Idaho, so it's just a line, and these people, we all will be affected. And I just like to thank you guys again, and just spread the word wherever you guys go. Carry a sign, that's all I do. Get someone's attention, say no to lithium, protect Thacker Pass. The lithium mines, no. Lithium lies. Yeah, we do use cell phones. That's another thing that I came in opposition with. We use cell phones. We do use lithium. We do use lithium to power our cell phones. But we need balance. Balance in those 4 directions, and that's something that we're missing. And like another gentleman spoke about greed. That's true, but we don't need to have that greed. If we have that greed, we have the money, we have the lithium mine, where are we gonna live at? We won't even have these trees or grass anymore. And that's one of the things that I say to these people when they say, well, we do use lithium, we do use these batteries. Yeah, we do, but we can find balance somehow, some way. And in that is I'm asking my warriors to rise up, to stand up and to show that we do have the balance. We're the caretakers of the land. We are the caretakers of the land. And we are strong in numbers. Thank you guys. Who's next?
See, I just kind of like to repeat some of the things that's already been said, maybe in a different way, though. Say, Dean's been involved in these things for a long time, and he knows the history of a lot of this stuff. Like, say, the people been here a long time, and they try to say we haven't been. But it doesn't matter. The Paiute people have been here for only 5 years, and you're going to come and dig up my grandfather. It is goddamn wrong. You just don't dig people up and then think it's all right. They told me one time, they said, when the earth gets sick, the people are going to get sick. That's what happened in this last year. My elder told me one time, he said that the plants and the animals went to this crater. They said they don't want to be here no more. They asked the crater to remove them from this earth. He said because the humans don't treat them good. They said they understood why they were here with the human people. With the trees and all these different things like that. And that's my teacher there. But he told us that they asked to be taken from here. They said, Creator said, give them people one more chance. And he sent them back to this earth. I kind of laughed at him a little bit, but it didn't make no kind of sense to me. That was about the same time that bark beetle first started invading this part of the country. And I went to the mountains and I seen for miles and miles of these trees that were dying. I then seen the whales washing up on the shores of California and all the way up the coast. Those things make it from one side of the earth to the other with no problem underwater, and they started washing up on the shores. They said the plants and the animals didn't like what the Creator said, so they started committing suicide. They wanted off this earth. So it's going to start happening up in this country this way. You can't inflict pain or a wound upon yourself and not expect to get sick from it. And that's the way that these people come in on these things. Mother Earth is a living, breathing thing. You come in and just inflict that pain with no kind of respect, no kind of nothing, it's going to get sick. And we're going to suffer through it. Maybe not me so much, but my children's children, all those down the road are going to suffer. And I'm here today to say, you know, we need to change these things. My partner, he married up with a tribal woman one time, and he wanted to understand why they thought the way that they thought. He said that they believed their way, that everything was put here for them to use in their own kind of way. They missed the parts of the balance and things like that. But they believed that in their way. So maybe some of our responsibility too, in some kind of way, is that we have to re-educate them on some of their thinking. With the greed and things like that that's in the way, though, it's hard to do. But with small gatherings like this, that'll turn into larger gatherings. And more that we get together and we go to the place that we need to go to, maybe we could get that word out. No matter how they believe, it's still the bottom line, it's wrong. It's wrong just to come in and dig up the ancestors, interrupt that journey that they have gone to. So like I say, I have to thank everybody for being here today. Thank Dean for his words. Like I said, he got a lot of knowledge with all this stuff over the years. So again, just appreciate each and every one for being here, taking the time out of your life. Say that much. Oh.
Hello, everyone. My name is Max Wilbert. I'm one of the co-founders of the camp at Peehee Mu'huh, Thacker Pass. And I want to talk just briefly about what I see as one of the big problems that's overlooked with this lithium thing, which is that we're being lied to and misled about what it's going to take to save the planet. These companies are interested in making money. They're not interested in the land. They're not interested in the water. They're not interested in future generations. They have this short-term thinking built into their structure. And in fact, if the CEO of Lithium America has decided tomorrow, if he had a change of heart and decided tomorrow, it's wrong to do this, it's wrong to destroy this place, this sacred territory, it's wrong to dig up these ancestors buried here, it's wrong to destroy this habitat and poison this water, he will be fired and replaced by somebody else, right? That's what we mean when we say it's a systemic problem. It's not an individual problem. It's not about bad apples. It's not about individuals making bad decisions. It's about a systematic problem. And this lithium issue has been pushed as the solution. It's been pushed as the answer to global warming. We all saw it hit 116 in Portland 2 weeks ago, right? We all saw the forecast for Death Valley. It's about to be 130 degrees. We all saw these giant heat waves. We've all seen the bark beetles. We've all seen, the temperatures rising higher and higher, the sea levels rising. We all know this is happening. We feel it. It's a real problem, the fossil fuels. But they try and solve that problem by making as much money as they can, right? They don't have a real solution. All they have is what they know, and what they know is destroying the land and making money. That's all they understand. That's all this system, that's the logic of the system. That's the way it thinks, right? That's the only way it can address anything. That's not going to work. It's not going to work. We can't buy our way out of this crisis, this ecological crisis. In fact, it has to be the opposite, right? It has to be the opposite of that. So I think it's important that we all recognize that this is a lie. We're being lied to. And it's been very successful. There are a lot of environmentalists, a lot of people who have good hearts, who really believe that they are trying to do the right thing, who think that this lithium mine is good. One of the groups that is suing Lithium America, the founder of that group, resigned and now is speaking out in favor of the lithium mine because he thinks it's going to save the world. Right? He's not recognizing that the same mindset, the same approach that got us into these problems is not going to get us out of it. We're not going to save the world from global warming by blowing up mountains and poisoning water to pump millions of new cars out of factories. It's not going to work. It's backfire. It's going to backfire. So this is just the beginning. This mine, Will and other people have mentioned, out east of Duck Valley, you've got another proposed lithium mine. You've got one right on the Oregon border, right next to McDermott, Disaster Peak area. You've got a lithium mine proposed at Rhyolite Ridge, down south of Walker River. You've got lithium mines planned in Clayton Valley, all throughout Nevada, and all over the world. The Hualapai tribe, some people probably caught that story out of Arizona. The Hualapai tribe is fighting a lithium mine that threatens their sacred spring. Right? So this is not a unique story. There's a First Nation in Canada, in Quebec, I believe. They've been fighting a lithium mine on their territory. This is not something different from what we've seen over the past 500 years or more, right? It's the same process. All they have done is put a new sign out front, and the lettering is green. That's the only difference. So we need to be aware of that, and we need to stand against it, and that's why I think this is such a good and important fight. It's because of this place.
Can you tell me where an EV car comes from? Everybody tells me it's the way to go.
Yeah.
Save the planet.
Yeah, thanks, Dave. So an electric vehicle, that's what we're talking about. People are saying that these electric vehicles are going to save the planet. And my response to that is that no vehicle is going to save the planet. There was a time not that long ago when we all recognized that cars were part of the problem, right? They like to say that it's all our fault as individuals, that we need to change our individual behavior. But, the interstate highway system was built before I was born. I didn't have any choice in that. Did you vote on that? Did you vote on the interstate highway system? Did you say, yeah, let's go this direction as a culture, as a society? Let's go down this direction where we poison and toxify the entire climate. None of us had a say in that, right? None of us voted on that. As a culture, as a community, none of us made that choice to go down that road, that path that is leading to total destruction. None of us made that choice. That choice was made by the industrialists. It was made by people like Henry Ford. It was made by people like Elon Musk, right? They made the choices. Because the legal system in our culture is set up to prioritize their choices, right? They get what they want. They get what they want. We don't get what we want. That's how the legal system is set up in this country. And so I think when we hear all this talk about electric cars saving the planet, it's a money grab. It's a money grab. It's something that we're seeing with all this solar and wind energy too. Right? There's a lot of environmental problems associated with it. We're not actually seeing the use of fossil fuels go down. They're just using more and more energy. So now you got all the fossil fuels and you've got the solar and the wind energy. And that's how they power their data centers and their factories and production lines and their Bitcoin processing and all the rest of the wasteful, unnecessary junk that this culture produces and sells to us with trillions of dollars in advertising every year. Right? It's a scam. It's a scam, the whole thing, and that's why I think it's important that we stand up against it. We have to defend this place, but this fight is not going to end here. It's not going to end here. The Jindalee lithium mine right outside of Fort McDermott is moving forward, just in the news yesterday. They're moving forward. There's a lot of money on the line, and it's going to take people standing up and having the courage to take action, to speak out. And I was remembering that quote earlier today when we were sitting here that I heard from somewhere that said, "Speak the truth even if your voice quavers," right? And I think it's very important that we all do this. Thank you.
Hey, I just want to say, I'm glad to be here. I'm down here representing for my family. I'm from Reno. My name is Wayne, but my family out west comes from McDermott and Hawaii, and that's always been our motherland. close to our family's hearts. And I have family in the crowd, a lot of friends. It's good to see everybody come down for all these things. One thing I want to say is that in Reno about 20 years ago, my aunt, she was looking through a bunch of things and papers and stuff, and she found that they were going to build a mine in Hungry Valley that was right next to us before we had Hungry Valley in Reno. And her complaints about that and her concerns about that started like this. It was small groups and things like this. And then, we got, our tribe got more involved. A lot of people started, coming out, communities, Spanish Springs, North Valleys, and eventually the organization started joining us, Sierra Club and Plan. Well, they have hundreds of thousands of members all across the West. Then the tribe started, coming around, and it made our cause even stronger. It takes a lot of people to stop these things, but they can happen because now not only did we get the mine out of Hungry Valley, now we own Hungry Valley, and I think it's like all of our responsibility to protect what we have left. What we do have left is just seems like it's going away. Even my tribes down in Mississippi, they fight with mining too, and they tell them, okay, well we're going to hire 17 people out of 2,500. We're going to reclaim the land, and we're going to do this and do that. But it's never the same once they do that. Once they mine, that land is never the same. Or they just leave it there and go bankrupt or do whatever they do. And I think that is good that the people are coming out from McDermott to try to stop this. And I told my family we need to make an effort to come out when we can, because it's good to see Dean, and I know how it is too, because I'm sick too, and sometimes you just can't do it. You want to, your heart's there, but your body's like, well, man, not today, But I just want to say, I'm with all you guys, and I think that with the effort that we have, everybody, and I'm hoping that all of our tribal leaders from Nevada can see this, all over the West too, to come out and support this, because that's what they did for us, and I believe that all of our tribes should do that for every tribe that's going to be fighting these things, because it's not going to end like we were saying before. They're going to keep on trying to take, and then I just recently went back to school, and as I get more and more into tech, I'm starting to realize that all these things that they're saying about green energy and whatnot, even cloud technology leaves a footprint. And even though they say that it doesn't, but all these things has an impact on what we have left in the earth. And I'm hoping that we can stop all these things. We already have enough minerals mined to last us for 200 years. But it's just greed, and the corporations just want more and more, and that's all they're going to keep doing. But I hope everybody keeps doing what they're doing out here, coming out to protest and demonstrate, and try to make people more aware in our own communities of what's happening out there, because I think it'll be better for all of us, even our kids and even the generations who aren't even here yet. But thank you for having this today. Thank you.
Hello, my name's David. I'm on the Red Mountain Committee, and I'm thanking you guys for showing up. and I really appreciate what us natives are doing up there. And we need to start working together and getting together on everything that's happening around our reservations up there in McDermott. We got these lithium mines that are coming right onto our doorstep now. We had a mercury mine up there that contaminated the water, and now they gotta haul water for our school kids. And we as Native people, we need to start standing together. The more we are, the more power we have. And every other tribe has other issues that's coming up. Water is a main issue. It's going to be affecting all the reservation in Nevada. So we have to let our tribal leaders know, and our fellow Native brothers and our natives, neighbors around our towns and stuff, let them know what is going on. Because sometimes we get used to our everyday normal lives and we forget what's going on. And I like that. What we're doing right now up there in McDermott, we're letting everybody know what is coming on there. And it's threatening our lifestyle. What these the corporations are doing, these mining companies are doing right now, they're coming in. They're going to remove some burial grounds up there. And we don't want that to happen. We want everybody's support. You guys go to your reservation, your leaders, and let them guys know that we as Native people need to stand together. We need to stand as one and fight for all of our indigenous rights. We're not immigrants. We belong here. We were here. We got a lot more rights than everybody else around here. In the United States, we have a lot more rights than everybody. We were here. And what happened was the government pushed us. You guys look at the maps on each state, reservation lands, reservations are little bitty dots. You guys look at them. That's what the government did to us. They pushed us into small reservations, and they give us a little bit of money so we can fight over them and each other. That's what the government, the corporations don't want, is the natives to get together. You guys remember up there, Wounded Knee? People were getting together, government didn't like it, went up there, look what they did. Us natives need to start looking around and help each other. When something goes over and involves our land and our water, we need to go in and help each other. Ask questions. Hey, what can we do to help? What should we do? What do you guys need help with? We all need to look at what these other people, the non-natives, do. Look now, 40, 50 years down the road. What is best for our younger generation to come? Teach them. Teach them to strive to be better. That's what I have to say today to you guys, and I really appreciate everybody here. And you guys go out and let everybody know. We need all the support we can. Right now it's gonna get right down to the end of this month. We need lots of support. Again, I'd like to thank you guys.
I'd like to thank everybody here. Appreciate it. Appreciate all the support. These mines are the worst thing ever. The UV car, go back to the EV car, excuse me. 100% of that EV car is mined. Mined. That means they have to pump out billions and billions and millions of gallons of water out of the virgin water, out of the ground, so you could drive your EV car and think you're doing good for the planet. So thank that person that you see with the EV car. Thank them for destroying that water that we need to drink. Animals need to drink. The sky needs water. The sky needs water. It needs evaporation for circle of life. And here look at the Carson River. Tell me how much fish you could eat out of that Carson River. What's that done by? Mines. I mean, we're in Carson and they know what mines do and they still pass this stuff. So yeah, mines are just horrible, you guys. We're in a mining state, but you live in the state, you got a voice in the state. Tell them we want no more mines because there's 8,000 lithium mining claims in the state of Nevada right now. And right now they want to propose to use 1.7 billion on one mine. What about they open up 8,000 of these lithium mines? How much water is going to be left in the state of Nevada? Southern Nevada Water Authority is looking for water. Tamawa, Reno's looking for water. And here we're destroying water for greed. Greed, 401. You don't need that. You need the water. You need the land. You need the air. That's what you need to breathe. That's what you need. You don't need money. Yeah, but anyway, I really discussed about mines. I hate them. I hate what they do. But yeah, I don't know if you guys knew about the rivers right here, Carson River, Lahontan. What else is contaminated here, locals? West Carson River. I think every Carson River, every river that's coming off the Sierra Mountain right now is all contaminated. Humboldt River, the only river that runs through the state of Nevada, is contaminated. Mining. You can't even get fishing. You can't even have your kids swimming. Is that future? Is that our future? Ask yourself that. Is lithium our future? Give up your water if lithium's your future. Stop drinking water. That's what you're doing. You're making these kids 100 years from now, 200 years from now, fight for water. But anyway, thank you. Appreciate it.
I want to thank everybody for coming out and saying their words. Right now, I want to see if we can get this letter to somebody, or how the best way we can get this letter delivered. But right now, I just want to do something. Look, everybody, I want you to look at the person on your right. That's your relative. That's somebody that you would want to see in solidarity. Now look at the person on your left. These are a lot of good people here. I just want to say to all you guys, all the relatives out here.
Hello, my name is Ainalda San. I'm from Farmington Reservation, and I'm with the Red Mountain Committee, and we're the one that's fighting for it. And I want to thank everybody here today for supporting. And all we want is we don't want the mine. We got young kids coming up, grandkids coming up. We don't want it. So I want to thank everybody that's here today for supporting. Thank you.
So we've got the letter from people of Red Mountain that Tequila read a few minutes ago. I think the people of Red Mountain are signing the letter right now and are going to deliver it to Far Western. I think they're going to tape it on the door and also put a copy in through the mailbox. There was also a request for folks to gather, if folks are open to being in a picture, to gather in front of the office with your signs, with your faces. Anyone who wants to be in the photograph, let's all go over there and do that, and then people of Red Mountain can deliver the letter. Does anyone want to say any final words or anything else before we go ahead and do that? Thank you all again for coming.